Hello, everyone in the sunflower patch. This is Sunflower. How was your Saturday today? Guess what? We have already gone through 1 month of 2026. And this is when I say, Father Time, can you please slow down the clock? Just a little bit, please. Of course, you know that he cannot. The clock continues, the days come and go, and this is such an encouragement to to take in the idea or what the idea. I'm turning into a Bostonian with my R's anyway. The idea of oh wait a minute, they leave out the R's. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My little gray cells are just going every which way, aren't they? It's the end of the month of January. Time is flying. Seize the day. Carpe diem. There you go. A little bit of Latin for yourself. That's a mantra. Seize the day. And it's important to because we're not promised tomorrow. And no, I don't say that to be all gloom and doom. We're not promised. Don't put off what you can do today. That may not be in scripture, but it's the idea of do what you can today. Don't live in a cesspool of negative thoughts, anger, things that weigh you down, etc., etc., etc. Um, it's the idea of making plans, making goals, setting goals, and deciding how you can go about getting things done, accomplishing, um, doing what you can. Well, oh my goodness. How can you do that? I caramba. How do you manage all of this? I'm just like some of you. There are some of you out there who are the go-getters. Y'all just move on and step onto the sidelines for a moment and let the ones who need to hear this step up to the front. I know some of you, well, all of you need to listen. Because Mama Sunflower said so. Oh, goodness. The times, the things that I have heard and seen, and yet I'm just going to ask the spirits who are around me right now to help keep me on track because we've got some goals and plans ourselves. And if I get sidetracked, oh well, I'm going to drink some coffee here at the risk of coffee burps. But there you go. Some of you well, oh, there you go. Some of you know me, and the rest of you are going to get to know me. So, what are these plans and goals and ideas of yours? I'm sure some of you have been sitting there brooding about things, not at this moment, of course, and you better be listening to me instead of lost in your own thoughts. But um, the idea of how are you going to get out of uh, what you've been called up into and such. Tonight is very special, and that's what I'm getting at here. Tomorrow is the 1st of February. Big deal. Hoorah. Valentine's Day month. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, no, it's February the 1st, and it is a very special day. And what I'm talking about is the energies of the day this weekend. I was giddy like a little schoolgirl this morning. Um, I was really down. I know that I have a calling to do this, and I'm going to mess up so many times and get off track and have coffee burps and um, have crazy hair day and all that other stuff. But there is a reason, a push, and a pull, and all of that will come out later on. But I'm wanting to encourage you to pay attention to what's going on around you and to choose a spiritual path if you haven't done so already. Spiritual path? Oh, no. Yeah. I believe in self. Set that little ego aside for a moment because there are higher beings above us that are just nodding their heads at me and such and going, they'll learn. Yeah, I know they'll learn. But, it's not going to take me knocking you upside the head to learn, and they've got to. I get plenty of it myself from the higher ups. Just wait your turn. It's not going to be me, it's going to be them. Why is it so important to have a spiritual path? That's going to be your navigation system, your guidance. Whether it comes across as a deity, divine, Father God, Mother God, angels, guidance, direction, even the demons, I throw them into. What? Just you got well. That's why you're going to be listening to all these little podcasts, aren't you? Um, Loved ones in spirit, the elementals, all the levels. But the one you really need to focus on is the higher up, whoever that is to you. Who does your spirit connect with in the higher ups? And what I mean by the higher ups is the deities, the gods and goddesses. There are so many different spiritual paths. And I am not here to say which one you should be on or need to be on. When I reference my own spiritual path, my path is my path and your path is your path. And it's important because not everything works together. Some of you drink the, coffee black with nothing in it, and some of you have to have the fancy version of Starbucks. And I get like that. Some of you want the caramel in it, and some of you want that stuff they call chia or whatever it is that tastes like grass. Um, to each their own. And even among spiritual paths, we all worship differently. And I come from a background that was just very, you do this, you don't do this. And so, even coming out of that, I'm looking at my little timer going, what? Oh, okay. So, I was reading it wrong. um, who do you pray to? Who do you go to? That's going to be a connection. But I'm really getting ahead of things because tonight is a night of transforming energies, of beginnings, of planting the seeds of change, of growth, of beauty, of fullness, of abundance, of prosperity, of love, of wisdom, things that we need, we ask for, patience, guidance, direction, seeds of joy, happiness, stillness, all the good things that makes us walk or helps us to walk that higher path, to take the higher road instead of going into that detour of I am going to knock the fooey out of whoever messes with me today. Attitude, um, which is so easy to fall into. Some of you are sitting there giggling and I'm giggling with you. It's not funny. To all of my little drama queens and kings in the sunflower patch. It ain't funny. Um, when you get drama. And it is a time of growth, maturity. Doesn't matter how old you are, whether you're in your 70s or your 20s. There's a daily growth. And as long as you're growing, like a little inchworm growing, um, I'm just seeing a growth chart and I've got a little inchworm in my head. La 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 da da da. Um, I love little inchworms. But how do you go about doing that? It takes planning. It takes a focus. It takes knowing what energies to start with. And this weekend is a weekend to start because even in scripture, it says there's a season for everything. Um, it's in that book that people forget about, including me, Ecclesiastes. Spell that, yeah. For me to even pronounce it is it's one of those words that I pronounced when I was little, so it's in there. Ecclesiastes. There's a time for planting, a time for harvesting. There's a season for everything. And how do we know when to start? You can't start something. You can't plant seeds when the timing isn't right. Well, the timing, this is one of the weekends that it's one of those times. But please don't think that this is the only time. No, when a gardener would know, and I think it's fascinating. There's a time that you plant this vegetable, and the time that you plant this vegetable, or this fruit, or this flower, or it's. I think gardening is so fascinating. Well, I'm going to be using some of those terms to help us to understand the timing of it all. One moment. I've got a dog below me. Hello, Lily. Hello, Max. This morning I woke up going, oh my goodness, I've got to, here we go. Got to make these videos, got to talk. What in the world am I going to talk about? Well, I looked outside and there was there were snow flurries. And I'm going, oh my goodness, it's snowing. Well, hence the video that I created and the magic in the air. Now, last weekend was totally a total different mm, attitude of it all. Ice storm. And here where I am in Georgia, you don't want ice storms, especially the damage and what can happen and what does happen. And oh, I was just nervous. And I prayed and put that bubble of protection over me and the doggies and the home, the little location that we were at. And oh, bless the Lord. He was good. He put it out. It dodged us. But for my northern friends, I know you got snow Armageddon. Um, 18, I think that's what my friend called it. That the news people were calling it up there, I think in New York, Massachusetts. You guys got a lot of snow. And of course, this Georgia girl is like, ooh, snow. That's why I posted some of those ice storm pictures of pine trees breaking like needles because of all the ice covering over it. And oh, the damage that could be and such. But this morning was totally different. We were getting a little snow flurry. Didn't even land on the ground. It was just the snowflake. Susie Snowflake was flying around in the air. And oh, it was cold. I had to find a jacket and put on an extra sweatshirt just to walk out and do my video. The birds were eating the bird seeds and just eating it up, and I had to refill my bird feeder. And I was like, "Here, little birds, here, little birds." Um, had to put the peanuts out in the trees where the squirrels and the crows and the birds get those and such. But in that snow bush, there was in the bush that was all the birds were flocking in and hiding from me. There was a beautiful red cardinal, and hi mom, hi dad. When I see a red cardinal, it's my mother comes into my mind, and it has to be, excuse me, a certain red cardinal, a cardinal sitting still, just watching, just watching, looking. And that's always to me a loved one in spirit. And for me personally, it's my mother. And I know it's her way of encouraging. And even in life, she was not one of those big, oh, you can do it. No. She would be the one putting doubt in your head about it and such. She called it hard love. Um, but it's her way of saying, yeah, I'm still around here watching out. And loved ones are. Some of you know me as the medium, and um, it's always an encouragement to those who are seeking and have loving relatives about and such to know that they're still around. But this is a time to set your mind higher. My mom was one of those moms. Well, what does God talk about? Well, what does God say? Go to God, go pray about it, that sort of thing. And so I grew up with that. And I know how it feels like when someone says, well, just go pray about it. Well, how do, what? There are things that I know now that I wish I knew back then about prayer, about um, well, my sight and understanding what it all meant and such. And we'll go into that. That's something else for another time. But tomorrow is Imbolc. Imbolc is one of the Sabbats of the wheel of the year, and I'm talking pagan, or the nature religion paths. Um, One moment. This is when we have little Chihuahua scratching and settling in, and I'm like, "Are you done? Are you done?" Okay, thank you. But what was I saying? Get me back on track, spirits. Yes, I do wish I had an understanding, but back then, now there's a time of growth and understanding, and I wish to impart some of that understanding on some of these shows that I'm doing, these podcasts that they're going to turn into. Tomorrow is Imbolc, and yes, it's one of the Sabbats. And I look at the Sabbats as those special times that are connecting to the Earth's energies, to this world's energies, and when I say this world, the Earth, the elementals, the um, the seasons, and again the timing. It's always about the timing, and it's so important to understand when we're working with the energies of the seasons, even the religious seasons such as Easter, Christmas, um, Passover, and some of the ones in the Christian church. And of course, I came from the Protestant church, so you Catholics, um, you have more of them that I can't even pronounce. The Epiphany, all of it, yeah, Pentecostal, all of it. There are times when it's because of human nature, the people that we're celebrating, and all of that energy is going up into the air and being spread out. But the way I look at this one, and I never really considered Imbolc. It was one of those that I started learning about, like, oh, okay. My big one is Samhain and Yule. Um, those were the ones that, oh, I know about that. Whoops, if you heard that, sorry, I hit the mic. Um, this one is about the goddess Bridget, Irish, and how the Catholic Church turned her into one of the saints. And that's what the Catholic Church would do. And I'm saying it very simple. They would come in and sort of embrace whatever the community, the group, um, their pagan ideas and cultures, that sort of thing, embrace it and put it into the church. Um, Again, I did not come from the Catholic background. And so this is not to start a war. It's just giving you a little background going, oh, okay, especially for those Christians who come from the Protestant background that I do, who are having a time of questioning, a time of why am I feeling like this? Those of you who come from the church background and you're feeling like, okay, I just something's not right. It doesn't fit. No, it does and it can fit in the way that God would have it to fit for you. You know, not every one of us have the same size of shoes, of dresses, of hair. Some of you got big hair and some of us have little hair, but we're all different. And God made us that way, and you know that. We're individuals, and we're not meant to be wrapped up into one big understanding, belief, idea that this is the way or the highway. God is not like that. The spirit world is not like that. Um, there is so much love and wanting us to advance. And when I don't know if that's the right word or not, because when I say advancement, that means expansion, and I see so much um, taken over, power hungry, control, all of that, and that's certainly not what I mean. To be better, to be a better person, to take the higher road of being loving, of being accepting, kind, and accepting meaning, okay, I am who I am and you are who you are, but not meaning to follow along with something that's just not for you, or even an idea that you feel personally it might be wrong. There's a time that we can set our boundaries, and you should set boundaries, but it doesn't mean to push it on other people. That's difficult. It's difficult, and so it's important to pray about the friends that we keep, the the group that we hang around, our environment, that sort of thing. But going back to tomorrow, Sunday, February the 1st, Imbolc. What seeds are you planting? The goddess Bridget was and is an Irish, Celtic, Gaelic, pagan goddess. Somebody's going to correct me on that. Let's just stick to she was Irish. Um, and she was the goddess of the hearth, the fire. She was a blacksmith. I'm going to say blacksmith because I can't say that other word. Ironworks, that sort of thing. And so she's also a poet. And so those three areas seems to be the big ones that she's with. And you know, it's okay to say Mother Goddess, the idea. Um, Tonight there is the notion of putting out a white scarf or a red scarf, whichever color, for her to come by her spirit to pray that she comes by to touch and to um, energize the scarf. So, and you keep it in a safe space. It's for healing. It's for nurturing. It's for inspiration, and you use it through the year in special situations, for special situations, that sort of thing. And so I was looking through things today, and I was like, "Well, I've got a beautiful white scarf," and I'll do it in a different way. I'm just going to. I found some white handkerchiefs, beautifully embroidered with this little flower print. It's not embroidered; it's more stamped in. A friend of mine, or one of my parents, when I was a school teacher, had gone to Ireland for a business trip, and I believe it came from that parent. These handkerchiefs came from Ireland. I was like, oh my goodness, I forgot I had all of these. And so I have three of them. I'm going to hang them up outside tonight to be blessed. And not necessarily by Mother Goddess or Saint Bridget, by the energies of this time, cleansing energies. I use the snow as a sense of cleansing, transforming, cutting out the dirt, the mess, and starting over, having a clean slate. You know, there's a verse in the Bible. It's in Psalms. I know it's got, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Let's see. That's the wrong song and that's the wrong verse. I thought it was going to go into it. Oh, um, wash me and I'll be whiter than snow. And I remember the song. Da, 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 da. Now wash me and I shall be whiter than snow. That's a verse in the Bible that I believe it was David who wrote, or one of those psalms, psalmist of the Psalms, who was referring to cleansing with hyssop, a specific herb, um, and washing the sins to make us whiter than snow. And I look at it as a sense of cleaning the slate, of being able to, getting little dings on my phone, sorry about that, being able to start over, let go of any mess that we thought we messed up with and such, letting go of thoughts of, oh gosh, I didn't do this or I didn't do that, and being able to plant seeds of new things or starting over and let's try this again and let's see if we can get it going. That's our part of getting that fire started within us, hence, the hearth fire of inspiration, of transformation, and being able to use the energies that we're having. This is a time to think about what it is that we're wanting. What can we do to for ourselves and for others? How do we grow? How do we become a better person? How do we walk a certain walk that would be pleasing to God? That would be pleasing and helping us to be an outstanding citizen, if you would, to be kinder, nicer, patient, and to work things out. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, hopefully tomorrow. But I appreciate your comments. And if you have questions, let me know when I post this. Hopefully, it's not going to take all night to post on YouTube. We're getting back into the saddle, as we say. And it has been enjoyable talking to you. And I shall be start doing some live things in the future. Some of you are used to the lives. This gives me a little bit more room to get on and get going. I am Sunflower Mystic, and please visit my website, thesunflowermystic.com. Then there's all the other social media buttons that all of you youngsters can't know about. I'll be getting my questions out to you. How do you do this? TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I think I got a Twitter account, but a tweeter, is that how you say it? Well, we'll find out. Get those scarves out and get those little inspirations of yours thinking and going. Write down those notes and we'll discuss a little bit more tomorrow. Tomorrow night is the full moon. That's another special thing. But I'm going to be calling it a night. I've said enough for you to be listening to. May God and Goddess watch over all, and I incorporate both of them because I just want to incorporate all your spiritual paths there. You stick on to who you go to and who you are. May you be watched over and looked after this evening. And of course, if you're listening to at someplace else and it's not evening yet, may God and Goddess walk with you through the day, and including those fur babies too. Take care and good night.